Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. The last time these two teams met, it was the Houston Rockets who came away with the W against the Knicks. They've got some momentum coming into this one. They'd like to break free of this 1-1 even series tie.
And if you look at the numbers, guys, I mean, what jumps out at you is the balance they had offensively.
Very satisfying road win because you're right. There was tremendous balance displayed. I mean, the crowd was basically stunned at how they were able to dismantle that defense.
And the Houston Rockets starting five. Everly and Harden, they're the backcourt. Then it's Trevor Ariza. Then there's Howard. And it's Capella in at the four slot. Anthony's shot is off.
You know, for Carmelo last season, it was Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong. After signing Melo to a max deal, the Knicks management expected a bunch from him. But with the new offense and a bad knee, it didn't happen.
And the Knicks with possession. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way. And that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against a defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
Now here's Calderon. 9-point game his last outing. They set the pick. 6 to shoot. New York needs to get off a shot, and that one's good. And getting back to Carmelo last year, that team really became devoid of talent. In some games, Greg, in games that he played, he seemed like their only scoring option.
You know, we talk about needing a big three to compete for a championship. And for over half the season last year, the Knicks basically had a big half. I mean, because Carmelo missed that half. And when the deck is stacked against you like that, sometimes it's better to fold your cards and live to play another day. And that's really what Carmelo did.
Here's Calderon. It's rebounded by Houston. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
And you guys know how much I love aggressive defense. But in that game, they were just a bit over the top, and it wound up getting them in foul trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was not just aggressive, it was reckless. I mean, they approached it more like bumper cars in a game of basketball.
For New York, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
Now let's find out what head coach Derek Fisher had to say to DB. Doris?
Kevin, he thinks this team is such a tight-knit group that it's starting to get to a point where they can read each other's minds. They'll see a guy cutting without even looking up, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully, the fun can continue, guys.
Thank you, Doris. So do you guys think their shooting will play as important a role as the coach made it sound?
It usually does. And for them to have that success shooting the basketball, I think it's going to be all about creating those high-quality chances.
Which means they need constant movement off the ball and crisp passing. I mean, that's the way you get good looks.
Here is Harden after the made shot from Carmelo Anthony. And the jam by Harden.
Tell you what, he's not an easy guy to stop when he's got his sight on the rim.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Did he just go chop there with that one-hand tomahawk slam?
Offensive rebound, Lopez, and it's sent back by Howard. The drive by Anthony, and finally they hit one. Anthony's got 6.
He's having quite the quarter here, guys. I mean, shooting the ball extremely well.
And the Rockets have lost out on some free agent wars the past few years. They have remained competitive, but you wonder what could have been if they landed or kept some of those big names.
And with the Rockets, it's no secret that they take a very analytical approach to team building. Greg, you and I have talked about that. And Clark, you know, you wonder if that hurts them in free agency.
Well, you know, when your front office makes no qualms about viewing players as simply just assets, it can be a hard sell to a free agent.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Lopez. Thomas comes in for Porzingis. Langston Galloway's checked in for Aaron Aflalo. And it's Grant in for Jose Calderon. Here's Galloway. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game.
Tell you what, guys, his size really comes into play when there's a rebound battle going on. He's got an advantage in there.
And he gets it to go.
And he placed that pass out in front of him and let him just run into it in rhythm.
Grant the pass to Galloway. Outside Thomas. Here's Galloway. Guarded by Harden. Out to Anthony. Lets it go with the three. Again, the miss by Anthony. Houston leading by 4. Guys, this offense very effective.
Point right at him.
And guys, the defense has been no match. They've just picked them apart.
Now, here's Beverly. Taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now, he averages about 9 points a game. Harden against Grant. Harden can't hit. Knicks have gone 4 of 10 shooting the ball here in the first quarter. Grant kicks to Anthony. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. And while there's a break, here's a collection of the shooting guards that have made an impact with their passing this season. The leading assist men among 2 guards. James Harden, number 1.
Well, when he's on the court, it's like having a second point guard out there. I mean, and in fact, his passing ability oftentimes rivals or surpasses some of the best point guards in our league.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to call him a true 2 guard because of how often their offense runs through him. Maybe he's more like a 1.5 guard.
And guys, Patrick Beverly, a perfect fit for the Rockets alongside James Harden. You know, Beverly is in that complementary role as a 3 and D guy. And remember, also, even though he's the point guard, he doesn't need the ball to be effective. He's good at just spotting up for threes, and he's a hounding on-ball defender.
And Houston calls their first time out of the game. And Beverly plucked out of Europe by the Rockets. Clark, he signed a new contract this past offseason.
And a nice value for the Rockets, Kevin. I mean, he's a player whose impact on the game really transcends the stat sheet. That's often the case for those guys that are all defense caliber players.
Jason Terry has checked in for the Rockets. Anthony against Howard. Back to Harden. Terry in the corner. Lets it go from the wing. It's hauled in by Thomas.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
Grant against Howard. Anthony, no one around. And there are the Knicks with another bucket.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
6-second difference between the shot and game clock. Stolen by Grant. Here's Galloway, guarded by Harden. Now Anthony, he's got 8. 11 feet out and he hits it. Anthony's got 10.
He can be a matchup nightmare if he can get it in the paint.
Terry, that's a 2, and it's good, but hold on, the officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And the footage relayed to the officials from the replay center in Secaucus, I think he got it off in time. The replay leaving little doubt.
But to me, it's worth being certain. And that's why we have replay, to get these big calls right.
And they've overturned the call. The replay was conclusive, and that one's going to count.
And, Kevin, an example of why it's good to have replay. I don't know what kind of impact it'll have on the final result, but you always want them to get every call right.
And we talked to Carmelo Anthony earlier, and he talked about how this team has improved their play of late.
We got back to trusting one another on both ends of the court, you know, having the confidence for one another. So, you know, as a result of that, we've been winning basketball games. And, you know, the game became...
Well, it was nice to see Carmelo healthy for a while last season, but not a lot of fun for first-year coach Derek Fisher as the Knicks finished with their worst record in franchise history after Carmelo was able to go only for 40 games.
That was tough. I mean, but there's no time in this league to dwell on the past. It's just like he said, you need to get trust and confidence back between you and your teammates. And when they do that, I think Melo and his teammates can thrive.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And guys, what's your take on the Knicks so far?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
They've got Robin Lopez. Williams is out there with Porzingis. Then there's Aflalo, and it's Calderon in at the point guard. They're the group New York will start the second with.
And I like that they're not settling, hitting the ball on the interior. 8 of their last 10 coming that way.
Sometimes you just got to man up and take a tough foul in order to stop these free runs to the rim.
And he made sure not to just draw the foul. That was good defense out on the perimeter.
Very good. He's a thinking man's defender. Knows how to bother even the best shooters without being overly aggressive.
You know, Clark, the one thing you can say about Ty Lawson is his awareness around the floor. He's just ubiquitous, and his court vision is incredible.
Excellent peripheral vision. He averaged almost 10 assists a game last season. That's the best year of his career thus far.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
And for Ty Lawson, playmaking isn't a concern. He's got that. His shooting accuracy, though, seems to drop every year. In fact, the last 2 years have been the worst of his career.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Capella. Reza comes in for Terrence Jones. James Harden, he's checked in for Marcus Thornton. And it's Terry in for Ty Lawson. And it's Aflalo penetrating with the second effort. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the officials. Yeah, you know, going back to Lawson's declining shooting percentage, really no apparent reason for it. Last year he launched the fewest threes in his past 4 seasons, but he still couldn't find a rhythm, and it really hurt his team down the stretch.
Good on both. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Feeds it to Howard. Back to Terry. Pass to Brewer. Lopez with the steal. Now here's Calderon, covered by Brewer. Calderon against Terry. Here's Porzingis. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. He had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
That free throw good from Porzingis.
And guys, Porzingis was almost a rookie last season, but he opted to pull out of the early entry and wait a year for this past summer's draft. Seems to have worked out for him as far as how his draft stock has changed.
Well done again. He doesn't have the same problems at the line that plague some of the NBA's other big men.
Follow against Harden. Shot clock at 5. To end the run. No good. Now the Knicks take it the other way. Greg, you're right with Porzingis. It made sense for him to wait one more year. Clark has a lot to learn, but still comes over, as a much talked about player, a much better player than had he declared last season.
I agree with you, yet he'll still need time to develop, but all the ingredients are there. He's got a chance to be a really good player.
Yeah, the Latvian had a great shot for his height, and he'll be an interesting stretch for in the NBA.
Good call.
Jumps up, and the jam by Harden.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean and style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. And for Trevor Ariza, almost exclusively a perimeter player on the offense last year. New scheme, Greg, new teammates, big adjustment.
Yeah, the Rockets having Dwight Howard camping out in the lane and James Harden needing space for dribble drives. Not much room to operate inside for Ariza.
But they do like his defense, and we know he can hit the three. It's a pretty valuable commodity for him. And the Rockets making a change here. Beverly's checked in. Lopez a screen. Calderon in the corner. And the layup's good off the glass. Calderon's got the lead up to 8 now for New York.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
You know, you talk about Trevor Ariza last season. I mean, his field goal percentage dipped to 40, mostly because he only took threes, or so it appeared. It's hard to be efficient if you're only shooting threes.
Anthony's checked in for Williams.
You guys, when you think about Trevor Ariza, he was signed by Houston last year to play defense. And did he deliver on that end? He was usually matched up against the opponent's best wing scorer, and he had the highest steals average of his career, almost 2 a game. Add to that, he is a knockdown shooter from beyond the arc.
Harden inside the three-point line, and an air ball.